Welcome to our podcast. What she said.
Hey, this is Audrey, and this is Courtney, and we are the Girls of 95.
Yeah. Girls of 95. Yeah. Yeah. Girls of 95. Oh, yeah. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. The Girls of 95. Anyway, hey guys, how's it going? It's a Sunday morning for us. It's a Wednesday morning for you.
Or Wednesday, whatever time. It's at least a Wednesday or
It
later.
has to be a Wednesday. If you listen to Thursday, you're wrecked. Just kidding. No. But yeah, today's Sunday for us.
Yep.
How was your weekend? Weekend recap.
Yeah, we're going to weekend recap. So I'm going to start our weekend on Thursday night.
Also, do you see the mounds of dog hair on my mic?
Yes. Honestly, there are hairs that I have to pull out of the mic sometimes. It's okay.
Anyway, but
It's
your
okay.
weekend.
Yeah, so my weekend technically I feel like started on Thursday night because I went to the Lightning game, the hockey game with Audrey and Ryan and their friend Vincent. It was so much fun. I'm not even kidding. We just posted I just posted a picture and a reel from that. We had literally so much fun. It was after a work night. And you know how on Thursday nights, I feel like I pretty much have good spirits on Thursday nights because I know the next day is Friday, but I'm so tired from the week. And I had so much energy that night. Genuinely, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
But then, Thursday we did that. And then Friday we recorded an episode. It was the 26th episode.
It was our more serious episode, I will say. I feel like it's the most it's the least
more
fun.
Serious
it's
than
more
our trauma.
No, I just mean it's more practical type things instead of just us just
being
going
goofy.
off the wall. Yeah.
So we did that, and then afterwards we went downtown to this place called Central. If you're in the St. Pete area and you don't know about Central, go. It's basically it's connected to downtown. It flows into downtown St. Pete, but it's just way cooler, way chill. Yeah. Better restaurants, better vibes all around.
Yeah. I enjoy that part so much better. It's just a lot more laid back. And there's still places you can go out if you wanted to. Yeah. But it's just not when you get to a certain part, there's this one block in downtown St. Pete that I will just avoid at all costs because I feel like I don't know how old the people are there because it's all people of all ages. But when I look at it and I see the volume of people standing on the sidewalks and in the bars and things like that, to me, they all look like they're 21. To me, I'm just 21-year-olds. 21-year-olds. And, dude, I'm just so past anyone that's, I don't want to be around anyone that's 21 in that type of setting at all.
No, I would say if you walk into a bar, well, for us too, we are we're built different. We're a little different. We've never really liked the whole bar scene or club scene. We never liked the club scene. The only time I've been to a club and I had fun was whenever I was dressed up like Napoleon Dynamite, and that is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that night was fun.
That's
but also we were 22
and we were goofy and but even when I was young I didn't like going to clubs and stuff, and I barely liked going to bars. So it's basically if you are in a bar and you are peeing to bunghole, that's how close you are to people, because you literally, not even people dancing on you, you're just that close, you can't even you're up, your body is into their body because it's so tightly packed. I'm not interested.
No, and honestly, when you go, it's not like everybody's dancing or anything either. It's not
they're just standing around.
Because it'd be one thing if you were in a club and everyone, it was a concert or something, and it was
or even I go to this gay bar downtown and I honestly have so much fun in the whole, because everybody's dancing and it's so fun. But it's that's so different than what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's people
just a room.
There's basically the whole bar is a line to get to the bar, and you're right up against people, and it's hot and it's sweaty, and you can't hear anything. And
I'm why are we here? Because even if someone were to come up, because let's say you're there to meet other people or hook up with somebody or something like that, how would you talk to them? I literally went inside one time before and someone was trying to talk to me. I'm
Yeah,
I do not remember.
I remember
when
okay.
Don't go there, but anyway.
Secret only I know.
Secret only Audrey knows.
But
anyway. But yeah, I was just I literally can't hear a word.
Yeah, so that's why we like Central, because it is a lot more chill. You can go and grab drinks and stuff, but it's not you can hear what people are saying.
Yeah. And there is music, like, you can dance and stuff like that. But I feel like there's a difference in, we've said this a couple times, like, I feel like throughout, since I've moved down here, I'm like, there's a difference between going in somewhere and there being club mix playing and then, like, just genuinely, like, good, like, almost like wedding. So I feel like it's like wedding reception music where it's like hip hop and pop, like literally just classic songs that everybody knows. It's like the party pleaser songs or whatever. Yeah. That's what I want to hear whenever there is music playing when I go out. I don't want to hear flipping club mix.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. I agree, but anyway, that was our Friday night after we recorded an episode. We went to Central and we tried this place. It was like a sushi bowl place.
And we went in with the wrong plan. That's my thing. Yeah. We did not go in. We should have already looked at the menu, first of all.
Yeah.
And I think when we got there, I was a little bit like, this is someplace, like, I've never been to a place like this. So I was just like, didn't think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you go in somewhere and you're like a little bit like out of your element, you're like, I'll just try that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm also like not a picky eater. So normally that is fine for me. But there's just something different about sushi because if you're not someone who's used to eating the raw fish, it's just like, it's not even like the taste, but like your body knows, you're like, this is something odd. Like when you're chewing it, you just get a little bit of like, a
little ick.
Yeah, a little ick. And then it goes in your stomach and your stomach's like, what is this? Is it supposed to be in here? We're not sure. I'm a little upset now.
Yeah, I think it's all a mental block, honestly, because
I think so too.
It tasted okay, but the whole time I was like, I'm gonna vomit. Like, there's no chance I want to
Audrey was definitely worse off than I was, but I was not feeling well, and it's happened every time I've eaten. It's happened every time I've eaten poke or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and I should have known before I went in there that, like, just get something cooked because I only really eat cooked sushi for the most part. And if it's uncooked, you know, like in the roll, it's tiny pieces. But this was like a chunk of salmon, and it uncooked, and it was just...
Yeah, it was not.
Probably just a really bad idea.
No, you could definitely go there and get something really delicious, I think. Because they have everything in the ingredients there. Because you can go, like, build your own bowls and things like that.
We should have just done that.
Yeah, we need to go get cooked shrimp or cooked salmon or cooked whatever.
Yeah.
Or you could get the chicken one, too. Because
we were just trying to be adventurous. So, yeah, that didn't work. So, we went, there was this pasta to go place. So, we just went and just split one of those. And then Courtney was just like, oh my God, yeah, well, I can just, like, I'm not just totally grossed out by this, so I'll take all these leftovers and, like, I can make something else.
Yeah, I was like, I'll take the leftovers and I'll pick out the stuff that I like. Because the base, it was like rice, avocado, cucumber. Was great. Yeah, it was like all that stuff was good. Even the sauce that was in there was really good. It was just literally the raw meat that was, raw fish.
But it was going to be such a good lunch for you, and then you left it in your car. I
accidentally left it in my car. Because we ended up we stayed out, like, we walked down Central and was just like walking around and just, you know, whatever. It's a cute area. Mm-hmm. And we ended up stopping and at one place before we left. And then it's like a long drive to get back to Audrey's house. And then it's like 20 minutes to get back to my house. So by the time I got home and it was like midnight or something like that, I was so tired. I just completely forgot it was in like my trunk of my car. And then the next day, by the way, that was yesterday. It was so nice. It was like in the 80s. Like, I woke up with the plan. I was like, I'm going to the beach today. It's so nice. But my car had been sitting out in the sun. And I woke up and I was like, shoes. I literally forgot that freaking sushi bowl. And my car smelled like, I don't even know. I've never been to one of those fish markets on a hot day. But I feel like that's what it would smell like. It was so nasty. I drove straight to the, like, giant trash crusher thing at my apartment complex and chucked it in there. And I was like, rolled all my windows down. I was like, I had a random bottle of like body spray in there, and I was like all over my... Jeez. It was really gross.
Well, yeah, too. Oh, yeah. And before we get to Saturday, after we were like walking around, we went to get drinks or whatever, like just a beer.
Yeah, one drink.
So we went to this sports bar that we like going to, and it was a weird crowd because it was also this thing called First Friday, which basically like on the downtown, the place we don't like to go.
By the way, I feel like we should be name dropping these places. We went to Ferg's.
Oh yeah, we went to Ferg's.
If you're from the area, you went to Ferg's, and we love Ferg's.
But they have this thing, like the first Friday of every month, they have this thing called First Friday where it's basically like they close down the streets at the crazy downtown area, and like you just like drink, and there's like beer gardens there. It's like a crazy thing. Like usually the Tampa Bay Bucks cheerleaders come and stuff, and they bring in a pirate ship.
It's just like this little celebration every month. It's like this little festive thing.
Yeah, and so that was happening. So the part of downtown that we were at, Central, was like super dead, and it was honestly all old people for the most part. Yeah, and it was like that at Ferg's too. And like Ferg's is such a weird bar. It's a big sports bar. I feel like it brings in young and old people. Like it's just a good time.
Yeah, there's always a lot of young.
But it was
a lot of young guys.
All old people. And it was honestly in crackheads, but it was really fun. So yeah, let's tell the crackhead story. So, well, first off, we saw this one guy. He came up to us and he said, "Hi, do you have 25 cents?" There's not that many homeless people in St. Pete, but there's still a few. Like when you go downtown, you're always going to see probably like 5.
Any downtown area of anywhere you're going to see. I mean,
came up and he said, "Hi, do you have 25 cents?" And we were like, "No, man, no, sorry." And he was so nice. He was
I
like,
thought he said 45.
No, he said 25.
You're probably right, but in my head, I'm like 45 cents. That's a really random amount.
But he walked off and he was nice and he was just like, "All right, well, thank you. Yep."
Yeah, I just left this one.
He was really nice, homeless guy. But anyway, I was like, then I turned a corner. I was like, how funny, like 25 cents. Like you think you'd be like $1 or
like
whatever.
$5. Yeah. You have $1.
So we were, and we were outside of the bar. They have these little like seating areas outside of the bar, but you can still like
on the
see
sidewalk.
into it, like on the sidewalk. And we thought that would be a more fun place to sit. So we were out there and enjoying our beer. We were like both sitting on the same side, like facing the bar, and we just see this guy on a bike. Well, Courtney,
I saw him first because he was coming up from Audrey's right side and I was sitting on the left, so we were like looking toward each other and talking and things like that. So this guy comes up on a bike and you can tell he was very cracked out. You could tell.
He was on meth 100% or something.
He was on some hard drugs.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he like rides up on his bike and he's just riding his bike normal for a second. But as soon as he gets like right where like basically in our view, he starts like doing this little like jump around like where he's trying to pop his wheel a little bit and he's like and he starts like making noises. It was like if you ever watch the show Beavis and Butthead and the little noises that they make and they're like that. That's like how he was sounding. Like he was definitely possessed for a second. So then he gets in front of us and then he ends up, if I'm remembering this correctly anyway, because I was trying not to look at him because I was just like, oh, first of all, I'm going to start dying laughing and I don't want to draw any attention to us. Yeah. Because we were like,
no, he seemed like he was dangerous too. Like he seemed like he's probably a nice guy, but like the drugs that he was on, like he was out of it. He probably would have been like, "Yeah, bitch," like and gone off on us.
But so he passes us a little bit, and then he's on my other side now, and he stops. And there's like at Ferg's, one of the reasons I didn't want to sit inside too was that the music that was playing was very loud, but it was also like the type of 80s music that I don't like. It was like every popular 80s song that I didn't like. Yeah. I don't even know
what song was playing.
I'm trying to think of even some of the songs that were playing.
But the one that like, so basically this guy, he stops in front of Courtney.
You see his arm? He spread his arms out.
He spread his arms out really wide and he's like singing.
And throws his head back. He's like, but
it's like not even like, you're like, okay, he's singing. And it's like, no,
he's not singing the song.
Like that. It was like that.
And we're
but
like,
worse. And we were so scared. And then I was like, I honestly kind of got scared. Like usually in those situations, I'm like totally chill. I'm like, I'm tough. Like I'll be fine or whatever, or at least fake it. But like, it's kind of hard with like crack addicts because you never know how they're going to react. Like they're on so many drugs that they're just going to like, they could freak out on you. And so luckily I saw a manager like in a polo, like walk up or whatever. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then he like rode off. But then I noticed like the 25-cent guy, he was like just sitting on the corner after he asked us for money. He like ran after that guy. He was, I don't know. I think they went off and had a little fun adventure or something, but
I don't know. We saw the 25-cent guy later and he asked for 5 cents though, didn't he?
No, he asked for I think 50 cents after that, or 75 cents. And I was like,
no, it was less. It was 100% less. Yes. Because I was like, in my head I said, oh, he must have got some of the money that he needed.
Oh, I thought he said more, and then I said he's steeping up the price.
Oh, maybe I don't know.
Courtney blacked out, I guess.
No, I wasn't blacked out. I think I was just trying not to hear. Maybe I was just trying to like block, because I just, you know how it is. You just want to pretend like you don't even notice. Like and it's not that it's a homeless person. It's just that it's someone who's like very obviously on drugs. Like I'm not trying to interact with you if you're on drugs. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, but it was funny, and there was those two other guys were definitely on. We're pointing all these people out that were on drugs. We're also just with a bunch of normal people as well, by the way. There's just like, we're not in like an area where it's like we're by ourselves and there's like a couple
it's
crackheads.
Very safe.
Right. There was literally someone, if someone started bothering us, there would have been like 5 people fast like on that situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, then there was these guys that were buying, they have a pizza dispenser. It's like it literally says like pizza ATM, and you put in money and it like pops out a pizza. It's like a machine, and it's on the sidewalk.
Yeah. But it's for Fergs. Like, Fergs built it. I don't really know how it works. But, yeah, it's really cool.
It's really random. But anyway, we saw that, too.
Yeah. Oh, and then I forgot we were walking back to our car. Remember that? Or maybe we were walking to Fergs.
No, it was when we were walking back.
We were walking back, and we saw... It was just a crazy night. I don't know. But we were walking back, and we just saw these people parked on the side of the road. And we saw like a bike zoom past.
Two guys on bikes. Yeah. On like bicycles.
Yeah. And she got out and she was just like doing F-bombs, F this, F that, F that.
No, you missed that though. Because Audrey missed the first part. So basically these two guys are just riding their bikes like down the road, which is very common in downtown St. Pete. Like these people are just biking, like literally riding their bikes. This guy from the car that's parked, which Audrey didn't realize either at first, that it's not just parked on the side of the road. It's literally one of the tires is up on the sidewalk. So I could tell right off the bat that it was like, okay, well, they obviously like probably swerved and like went up on the
bikes or whatever.
Yeah. I don't even know if it was the bikes because those guys were, there's no way like the timing of how those guys were riding, it couldn't have been from them. So, but it must have been. I have no idea what happened. Anyway, those guys rode by. The guy ran after them and like got in the middle of them and was like swinging his arms out, like trying to like grab them and stop them to make them wreck. The driver guy, or at least the guy who came from the driver's side. I don't know if he was driving or in the back. Anyway, and he's cussing up a storm. And then the lady gets back. And then this other car is just driving by the opposite way. I don't think they had anything to do. Like, I literally don't know who was actually in the situation because the way the timing was, these people are already on the side of the road and already out of their car. So to me, I'm thinking, well, these other people that are just now coming by, there's no way that they're a part of this because they're cross anyway. Yeah. It made no sense, but they're all cussing, screaming, F you, and like,
yeah, it was crazy. And there was like another car and he was just like, you need to calm down, like driving by, and she was just like, you need to F off, and like freaking out. And then mind you too, the way these people are parked, like we mentioned, they're parked on the side of the road, this car that's like freaking out. They're parked on the side of the road, but I guess they had to swerve into a one-way. So also too, they're like kind of in the middle of the road in a one-way street going opposite like the way they're supposed to be going too. It was just like a mess.
It's like obviously something happened, but then you know it was them because what happened is they finally all get back in their car. They do a U-turn in the one way. So then they're facing the right way. And then they speed off and they're doing where their brakes and their tires are going like going up the street, like going way too fast, way too swervy and stuff. I'm like, you're going to end up hitting somebody now too. So I don't know what the cause of all this was, but like take it down about 10 notches before you kill somebody. Yeah. And it's your fault. Anyway, so it's not
lively night.
Yeah, our night sounded very, very dramatic, but there was just some random things that we just like some sights that we saw. Really, that's all.
I remember too. There was also a black homeless guy too. When we walked past him, and he said, "Now that's a white woman." He was. I said,
no. And then wait, do you remember the two gay grandpa guys?
Oh yeah, there's
that
two
were sitting in rocking chairs.
We were walking past this like area. It's right by the gay bar that I like to go to, and I think maybe we were around that area. But anyway, it was in like by this coffee shop and stuff.
Yeah, they were in front of restaurants.
We were walking by, and I swear to God, these two gay guys in these rocking chairs said, "What did they? Wait, they said like,
yeah, keep walking,
yeah, keep walking, girls."
Like, and not
we weren't doing anything. We were just walking. Yeah, past them.
So maybe they weren't talking to us, but
I swear to God, I was like, they just said keep walking, girls.
No, I heard that too.
And it's like we're around a ton of gay men. We're the only two girls. Like, did they just want us off their turf? I don't understand.
I don't know because there was other women there too sitting.
Right.
I have no idea. I just think maybe you know how we like get a little fun. We're in a mood together, and we'll be like, yeah, nice walking. T-shirt. Yeah,
it's probably
maybe
that.
But they get rude, and they're like, yeah, keep walking, girls. We're here together, and this I don't know, but we were just like,
we weren't doing anything. It's not even like we were like trying to walk around them or anything. Like it was a straight road, and we were just walking down it, doing nothing.
Yeah, we literally were just walking.
Like, but then too, there were so many fun conversations. Like whenever you're walking down the street too, and a lot of people are walking past you, you just like, catch like little snippets. Like you know the thing, like, and they were roommates, like that kind of thing. Yeah. Where it's just like you hear little snippets. And there were so many funny convos we heard. I have no details really, but I just remember like I would hear two girls walking past, and they were probably talking about some ex-boyfriend or something, and getting real heated, and then I turned to Courtney and be like, yeah, and he's the worst.
Yeah,
like
it was fun.
Oh man, it was a good night.
That's what's good about sitting outside of restaurants like in that area too, or sitting on the sidewalk seating, because people will walk by and you'll hear like literally less than 5 seconds of their conversation, and then you'll just be like, yeah, so
then we
just like, we just
fun.
like comment on it or do our own commentary. Yeah. Okay, so I do want to, so yesterday, this is kind of going on to the next day now, but
yeah.
So we did that Friday night, left my food in the car or whatever, had to go take care of that. So now, yesterday was a really, really nice day. We're getting back into the time of the year in Florida where we're getting back into where it's always in the 70s. We kind of passed our little like couple weeks of winter and now we're back into the nice weather. Yeah. And so there was a while where you really just couldn't go to the beach and enjoy it. As far as like going and having a beach day, you could just like go walk on the beach or something like that and, you know, put on a sweater. But now it's like in the 80s and stuff like that. So I was like, yes, okay, this is the first weekend where it's really been nice out. It's not just warm, it's also sunny. It's like literally I pulled up and I was like, this is why I moved here. Like I remember just getting on my car and like, yep, this is why. This is why. Mm-hmm. So I get out and we went to a new beach. I went first and then my roommate came and met me, but Emily, you know her, she was on the podcast a couple episodes ago. Anyway, but we decided to go to Sand Key State Park because it's really close to where we live and I'd never been there before and it's really nice. I like it because it's just, you have to go pay pretty much everywhere to go to the beach. Like you have to pay to park most places unless you know of a little spot or a little parking area where it doesn't cost, and usually those spots are taken. So like 9 out of 10 times and maybe more you have to end up paying. So I like this because it's just $5 for the whole day. Like it's $5 until sunset. Anyway, but we went there and we had a really great day. It was beautiful. The beach is super nice there. And like a little bit, we'd been there a couple hours and like I had only brought like this like one like thermal flask of water and a Celsius or something. Either way, we were both like so thirsty. And I was like, you know, I know at Fort DeSoto, which is another beach that's in the area, I was like, I know they have like a little snack area where that you can get drinks and like ice cream and stuff like that. I was like, maybe they have that here. We've never been here. Do you want to walk down the beach and see if there's something like that down the way? So we did, and there ended up being nothing. So we were walking back. So by this point, we're like, okay, we're getting ready to leave. We just were trying to see if there was like, you know, walk on the beach and go get a drink of water or something before we were leaving. Mm-hmm. And when we're walking back, we didn't walk on the beach. We walked on the sidewalk, and which is just by where all the cars are parked. And like every so often, there's probably like 4 or 5 little buildings where there's like the boardwalk goes out and there's bathrooms and like the little shower things are all right there. And it's a really nice place, and it's busy too. There's like, we're passing people the whole time. Anyway, and so we turn and we're going back on the beach at this one park. So we walked on the sidewalks because it would be faster. Anyway, and these 2 guys, like younger guys, but you can tell they were just like, I mean, just by looking at them, I wouldn't think anything, but they were these 2 younger guys. And anyway, so we walked by and they were like, how are you today? Or something like that at first. And I was like, fine, thank you. And just like kept walking. And then I should have answered, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what would have been the right thing to do because I didn't say anything. I mean, it wasn't because me and Emily, but then they started following us. Mind you, there's like so many people there. So it wasn't like I felt unsafe, but I was just like, really? So then they wouldn't stop. They were like, ooh, yeah, you're looking good today. I like that black swimsuit, blah, blah, blah. Like just being so obnoxious and gross and uncomfortable. Yeah. It's like when you hear people say like, or girls complain about like guys like catcalling and just saying, it's like we were walking and we weren't turning around and we weren't like talking back to you. Obviously we weren't interested. And the more that we keep ignoring you, obviously you know you're making us uncomfortable. So they were choosing to do that. Anyway, and they're, like I said, they're definitely like in their 20s. They were not old at all. Anyway, so they keep doing that, and I can tell Emily is just getting like, she's starting to spiral a little bit. She's like, I'm never leaving the house again, and like, you know, just all this stuff, like just getting really upset, and I'm just like annoyed or whatever. And so finally I turn around, like when we're actually to the beach part where there's like a bunch of people, and I was like, listen, we're not interested. I was like, we're just not interested, so please leave us alone. And kept walking. And the guy was like, didn't know I was ugly, didn't know I was so ugly, blah, blah, blah. And it was just literally, it just went on for way too long. Like they just like kept walking behind us and kept talking to us and stuff. It wasn't like they said something, we didn't like it, I finally had to be like, we're not interested, and then they said a stupid comment and left us alone. Like it was very obviously not okay. So I told Emily, I was like, I'm walking up to the first like group of guys, like normal looking people I see at the beach, and I'm gonna go say, hey, walk us back to our stuff, please, and walk us to our car because these guys are following us. And she was like, okay, like, whatever, like, I don't know. And so, no, there's, like, this group of younger guys, and they didn't look like a bunch of serial killers. I guess they could have been, and they could have had 4 people. Maybe they could have fought for for kidnapping
who
us.
gets, yeah.
Anyway, but
pinks.
these guys, these younger guys, that's my thing. I'm like, I know that sounds stupid, but I was like, I'm not going to go up to some more women, because what are they going to do now? Get other girls involved? I'm like, no, I'm going to go up to some guys. If my looks are enough to, like, cause some randos to be like commenting and being uncomfortable, I was like, at least I'm going to use them to go get some people to help us. Like, anyway, so I walked up to these guys and I was like, listen, I was like, those guys back there keep following us and they're making us feel very uncomfortable, and they just keep saying XYZ. I was like, can you please walk us just back to where we have our stuff? We're just trying to leave. I was like, can you just walk us there and walk us to our car? And they're like, yeah, no problem, girl. Like, they weren't gross or anything. They were just like 22 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they did their good deed for the week, but that was our story. But it's just so annoying. And sorry, Mom and Dad, I'm sure there's so many things in this episode that
you're just like, why?
So
yeah.
That's my thing, is it's like, in those situations, like, obviously those people are unsafe, but you're in an area where there's like literally there's 2 weddings happening, like, within like 30 yards of us.
Yeah.
There's a gender reveal. It's like, these people aren't going to do anything. I mean, if I go get off by myself and I was put myself in that situation, I'm sure it wouldn't be safe. But I was like, no, I'm literally going to go up to right in the middle of all these people and, like, act like this in front of everybody, because I promise you, if nothing else, some freaking 45, 50-year-old dad is going to beat you up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, so it all turned out okay. But, yeah.
Crazy story.
Yeah, I know.
I made a big batch of cold brew on my Saturday.
Yeah. And then
we renewed our Sam's. We renewed our Sam's membership. What else did I do? Yeah, my Saturday was very chill, honestly, compared to Quartz. So.
Oh, we saw dolphins though. They were like, I'd have no depth perception as far as like knowing how far out in the water they were, but they were extremely close to the shore, like close enough that I would have swam out that far.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, I would have been out that far, easily.
Weird.
Yeah, especially in Florida, like where we live, there's not huge waves, and the sand is pretty, like, there'll be sandbars and stuff, like, pretty, not far out, but in this area, it just doesn't get super deep really fast, I don't feel. Anyway, no, I've definitely been out that deep, like, many times.
Yeah. That's crazy that they were so.
And they were like jumping out of the water. It was so cute, and it was like the whole way down, because we went on the walk and then we just kept seeing them. It was so nice.
That's fun. I had a manatee swim. I'm dying.
You had a manatee swim.
Yes, up to me. Thank you, teacher Courtney. Right next to us one time, and it was wild. And then.
Like, where you were in the ocean?
Yeah, I was in the ocean. It was right up next to you. Like, that happens a lot with manatees. But the funniest part was, we were all in the water. It was like me, Ryan, and his family. And there was this little girl that like came up, and she like, her mom was like on the shore watching her and stuff, but she was just swimming around. And her mom, I think, could tell that we were nice, fine people, so she didn't really care. But she was just like, she kept asking the funniest questions. She was just like, oh my God, a manatee, I can't believe it. And she was just like, if you touch the manatee, will you go to jail? I said,
and you're like, solid question.
I said, I don't think so. I think you're okay. I mean, like, I wouldn't touch them, but if they like come up and like brush your leg or whatever, like, I think it's okay. And she was like, okay. And then she was just like, what happens when a manatee dies? I was just like, I don't know. And like, she was just honestly, like, this is gonna be my kid, like this kid. It's like the same kind of just like, why would you even ask that? Like, it was so great. She was probably like 7 or so, but she was so funny. And then her mom finally came out. She was like, I really apologize for her. And I was like, no, don't. She's such a gem. Like, honestly, keep her good.
Yeah. No, I knew 7-year-old Audrey, and she definitely would have went up to like some stranger on the beach and been like, and said the exact same thing. And then she would be like, want to see me do a flip in the water?
That's like the same kind of thing. Yeah. But I was rolling. She's like, if you touch a manatee, do you go to jail? I was like, no. She asked a ton of other stuff too. It was great.
That's amazing. Anyway, that's our weekend recap, and the weekend's not over.
Yeah, today.
So who knows what else will happen?
I think today we're recording like 3 episodes in a row. So if they progressively get worse in the coming weeks, that's why.
You know why.
You know why. Anyway, but today we decided to do like a Reddit episode. I personally, I never get on Reddit, but I love Reddit podcast episodes. Like there's one in particular that I follow that I'm obsessed with called Two Hot Takes. It's really popular. You guys probably know it too. But they basically just like get on Reddit forums and like read stories, and it's so entertaining. So I thought we could probably do that from time to time, not like comping their idea or whatever, but everybody does it.
Literally everybody does it, yeah. Because I heard a different... I need to ask Morgan, our good friend Morgan, because I 100% positive that when we were taking a road trip to come see Audrey for her bachelorette, or maybe on the way home or something like that, she played, and it wasn't the same one. I know it wasn't the same podcast, but it was the same thing. And anytime, even if you see like on Instagram or like a lot of times you'll see where someone screenshotted a Reddit thread or something like that, and it's always like the funniest thing. I know there's just other random stuff on there too, but there's some good content from Reddit. It's so hilarious. Good, and I've never been on it either.
I bet a lot of it is like not even real. Like people probably just go in there and they just like write things or whatever.
It's the internet, so
but I don't care. I don't care.
No, I don't care either.
I think it's fun. But anyway, I'm on a Reddit, like a subreddit, and Courtney's going to be on one too. But mind you, like we haven't read these, so it might be a little choppy. It might be a little bit of us like abandoning the story as it goes.
You're just here along the ride with us. It's just like we're like sitting down as best friends. We're like, you know what would be so funny? Let's look up some Reddit stories and let's just read them. That's what it is.
If we were better podcasters, we'd probably have someone like vet these stories, but no, we're just
better podcasters. It would be our only job, and we could dedicate time to do that. But that's not the case.
Oh yeah, no, we work too many hours.
We're working women
anyway,
and I just started working extra. I work an hour extra every day to make some extra dough.
Yeah, so we're trying our best here, people. Yeah. Make us famous, and then we can do this full time and make it even better. So thank you. Okay. But I thought the Reddit subreddit, like I love worst first date stories or just any date stories. That's like, that's always like my favorite thing ever. So I'm going to read you some of those. And I'm literally, you might have even like heard some of these already just because like I'm going like the popular, like I'm not going to dive deep into it. So these are just like the ones that have gotten the most upvotes and are really famous.
I feel like though, if you're not familiar with Reddit and you also don't like you're not an avid podcast listener of podcasts that do this, you probably haven't heard them. Because everything I've ever heard from Reddit has not been something I've heard before, even if it was a popular thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's just so much internet out there to be to be had.
Okay, so I'm gonna start, and let's see how it goes.
Start it, lady.
Back in college, I was invited to an ice rink with a girl I liked and some of her friends. I did not know how to ice skate, and I did not pick it up very quickly, but I wanted to try and impress her somehow. Well, I hugged the wall the whole time and made a fool of myself. The highlight was when I saw a flash of light as I fell to the ground in a group of people. Turns out I had fallen right on at the moment someone took a picture, so my failure was immortalized forever. She took me back to my apartment and ended the relationship before it began. What?
Okay, first of all, man, you should know better than to go on ice skating when you can't ice skate on the first date, because there's nothing worse. There's nothing more. Can you imagine going on a date, though, and, like, seeing a man struggling physically the entire time? That's just so much ick.
I know, but savage that she was just, like...
I feel like I would do the same thing.
Anyway, that one was okay, but it wasn't as good. Hopefully there's some... Like I said, I've never read these.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, it's so funny. I've heard, like, on different podcasts or TikToks, and it's like, what gives you the ick? And it's like a man running after a ping pong ball. Like
yeah.
And I'm like, that's the same kind of vibe.
Okay. This one says, this new one, okay, he was more than 3 hours late and was texting me telling me that he was 20 minutes away for 2 of those hours. Frick. That's pretty bad. That reminds me of like my Uber Eats, and it's just like you can keep saying it's like it's almost here. I'm like, it's been an hour. I don't know what you're doing.
My thing though was he's saying it like, that's so funny, but was he saying it like as a joke? Because that's actually really
well. Here, let's keep. There's more to the story.
Oh yeah, that's literally so funny.
As soon as he arrived, he tried to tell me to leave the part of the venue dive bar I'd already paid into, so we could go where he wanted. So I guess like she had to pay a cover to get in, and as soon as he got there, he was like,
no, let's go somewhere else. And
okay,
like, no.
Well, I guess you got your money's worth because she was there for 3 hours. So at that point, you probably got your cover's worth anyway. Okay.
Yeah, but still the audacity of someone who's 3 hours late. I would have just left. I'd have been like,
better.
Screw you.
It gets better. Okay, so they go to a different venue.
3 hours?
They're walking to the other venue, and he tries to start a fight with a friend they'd happen to run into on their way to the next bar. Like, he just gets in a fight with them. Called my aunt who talked me into going out with him in the first place a cock blocking bitch. Great. Okay. I just walked away from him after that last one, and we never spoke again.
That is so funny.
She said, and like she kind of like commented back, and she was just like, I waited so long because there were like some bands that she liked that were playing like at this venue. So she was like, I wouldn't have stayed if it wasn't.
Okay, so she was enjoying herself, but also just like annoyed the fact that it was supposed to be a date. That makes sense. Yeah, you just do you at that point.
So good. Sorry, I'm reading as you're talking too, just to see if there's any other updates. Yeah, because it's like that one was pretty long.
I just will say, like, at some point though, I would have just like blocked the number and been like asked someone to like trade faces with me so I could just enjoy the night, and no one would ever, like, he would never come find me and approach me, and I would have been like, actually I would have called my girls, and then I would have acted like I didn't know him.
That was chaotic though, and it's funny, I guess the aunt like set him up.
Like, this is a really nice boy. Confused. And you're like, that is why I will say, because not so much here, but like when I lived in Missouri still, I always had people like, I know somebody, I know, like, there's this guy or whatever. And one time only did I ever agree.
Cash in that offer?
Yes. And it was like right before I moved too. And he had asked me, like, we literally had a restaurant and stuff picked. And he didn't live in the same town as me, but he was like, he's never going to listen to this, and neither is the person that was trying to. Anyways, it was somebody my mom's boss knew. And basically I used to go in my mom's work sometimes, because it was just like on the way home, I'd just stop and be like, hi, I hope you're having a good day, whatever. And so I would talk to her boss and stuff sometimes too, because it was just like a little small business. And I guess like after a few times of meeting me, he was like, wait, I think I know this guy. Like, he's a real stand-up guy. We golf together. He's like, he's got a life set up. He's bought a house. And I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, in my brain, I'm like, I really don't want to be set up by anybody. But I was finally like, you know what? Whatever. Like, the worst that can happen is I don't like him and I never speak to him again. Right. And also, this is when my brain starts going, yeah, I could just move to Florida. So I was just kind of like, well, I can go on a date, like, whatever. So then it comes to the day of, and I hear nothing, like crickets. And we never set like a specific time. Basically, it was like the days before. I don't even know if I had his number. I think it was just like on Instagram or something, because we had followed each other, or he had followed me, because I told my mom's boss, like, yeah, you can tell him who I am. He can like reach me on Instagram if he wants, because I don't want just anybody having my number, I guess. But anyway, so he was like, yeah, I should take you out sometime. I was like, sure, whatever. And we like picked a place or decided on a place or whatever. And I was like, as long as it's like after this certain time tomorrow, I'm free. So if you just want to like let me know, like some like 6, 7, whatever works for you, I don't care. Anyway, so it gets to the day of, and I don't hear anything all day, and it ends up being like 4 o'clock. And I wasn't even like upset, because in my brain I was like, well, I didn't want to go out with him in the first place, right. So it's fine. But I'm like, that's also so annoying.
Yeah, that's
like
really
don't even ask.
Yeah,
just don't even ask if you're not going to follow through. It's one thing to just like, I asked him and then I don't hear from him the day of, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess he didn't want to go, whatever. But like, if you're the person who is pursuing, and then when it comes down to it, you just literally don't say anything. No. So I didn't hear from him the whole night. So the day we were supposed to go out, didn't hear from him. And I was just like, it wasn't even him. I was just so mad at the situation. I was like, this is why I don't flipping date. This is why I don't do this, because literally guys have zero like skill to be respectful and just be like, I don't know. That was just like, I was having a man-hating moment. Anyway, and also by like 4 o'clock, I'm thinking like the day before, I'm thinking, okay, we'll probably meet up at like 6 or 7. When I haven't heard from him by 4, I'm like, he could literally message me right now and tell me that he was in a car accident and I would not go. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I was just like, I'm just so not.
Right.
You're the one who pursued me, dude. Like, you have to actually like try to make it happen and not just be like, oh, I'll just let her know, hey, I'm ready to go right now. Like, that's not how it works. Anyway, the next day he was like, oh, sorry, I went to the casino the night before and I like got pretty drunk and came home. Like, and I didn't get home till super early in the morning. And then I was working on my house and then I accidentally just fell asleep and just like accidentally slept through it. And I was like, cool. Lose my number. Like, I don't even think actually he said sorry. I think he just told me what happened. No, I lied. He never ever responded. He never said anything. And then he told my mom's boss what happened. And I was like, and then he told me, because I told my mom, and she told like my mom's boss, she was like, yeah, so she did agree to go meet with this guy. And like the day of, he just didn't say anything. And yeah, he was like furious. So apparently he told me, he's like, yeah, I apologize. And I was like, he did not. That dude was literally too embarrassed to even say anything. Like, he did not ever. He was like, yeah, I said I was sorry and this and that. I'm like, first I'm hearing of it because I don't flipping know.
Sounds like something else fishy. Like, did his ex reach out to him or something? Because
I have no idea. I don't know. Either way, I don't care. But I'm just like, literally all you have to do is say, hey, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Or I can't.
Weird. Okay, I'm gonna keep going on these stories though.
Sorry, that was okay. That was my derail.
Okay, went on a blind date with a lady who wouldn't stop picking at her scabs. Just made a pile of them on the restaurant table. I excused myself to use the washroom, and when I came back, my soup was there, but the pile of scabs wasn't.
I doubt she put him in his soup.
He said he didn't eat the soup. Okay, a guy told me he just recently got out of a long-term relationship, so he wasn't looking for a commitment, but asked me if he could be my maintenance man, and he stroked through his jeans. Cool.
Ew. That was the same vibe as that guy that was like, I think we both want the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we don't.
Okay, so this one said, I went out for dinner with a movie, I went out for dinner and a movie with a guy. I tried to chip in money at both, but he insisted that he cover it at all. At the end of the night, we were sitting in his car in the parking lot of the restaurant we had just eaten at, and he asked for a BJ, saying, I mean, I bought you dinner and took you to a movie. It's the least you can do.
Hey, but I have a Mustang.
Oh my God. She said she walked home. She said she got out of his car and walked home.
Danger.
Jesus.
That's when you get out, you go to the nearest restaurant and then you call an Uber. You don't just walk home.
It's funny. She commented back and she was just like, honestly, it would have been cheaper if you just would have hired a hooker. Like, dinner and a movie is kind of expensive. Like, you can probably get cheaper.
Yeah, guys just have no.
Jeez. Okay, this one's kind of a long one. Let's see.
What? No. Here's my thing. Even if you're looking for that, is there a single girl out there that just wants to be asked so upfront and abruptly like that? Like, even if you are a girl who is like willing to do that. That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
That's what I really don't get. Because I'm like, you still need to romance me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is a really good one. So it's kind of a long story. There's a lot of detail, but I want to read this one part. Basically, they were on a first date, they were talking and stuff, and the girl brought up that she had a dog, and she was just like, oh my God, here's a picture of my dog. It's so great. Like, look at my dog.
Is this the person who is writing it? It's her dog?
Yeah, it's her dog. Okay. She's the one, and she's just like, yeah, conversation's going, whatever. It's kind of weird, but whatever. And then I was like, here's a picture of my dog. And he was like, oh, great. And then he turns to his phone, and it's a picture of his dick.
Okay, that's so funny.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. That's so funny. He's like, here's my dog, and he's just like, oh yeah, That's hysterical.
So funny. That's something I would do, like, if it was somebody else already dating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, look at this picture I took of Rufus. And I'm like, yeah, look at this. But I wouldn't do that on a first date. That's what I'm saying. Some of this stuff is actually, like, so off the wall funny, but it makes it not funny and absolutely just terrifying because it's somebody's first date. It's somebody it's like a total stranger to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, if Ryan did that, you'd be like, LOL, that's so funny.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this one's kind of long. I'm trying to, like, read in between the lines here. But basically, this guy, or it might be a girl, I'm not sure. But they went on a date with someone from OkCupid, okay?
Cupid.
Yeah. And she, like, apparently, like, they were messaging, and then out of the blue, she was just like, let's go get some food. And he was like, okay. So they went out to dinner or whatever, and obviously they never met in person before, so they're just going off of profiles, whatever. he said that, you know, she was about 5'2", 190 to 210 pounds.
Was she homeless and needed a meal?
Oh, hold on, I keep going. Because some of these details and some of these stories, it's like I don't even need these details, but thank you for coming.
Yeah.
But apparently, okay, so they met up, and she said that she like brought a friend along, a 16-year-old. She was 22. Okay, brought a 16-year-old friend. And then her friend brought her toddler. So we're 16. It was like the girl that he asked the date on, who brought her 16-year-old friend and the 16-year-old friend's toddler. All right. Oh, and her friend brought another friend. So there's he's basically taking these people, 3 people on a date and a baby, okay? So he's like, so here I am with 3 girls and a toddler that I don't know. All 3 of the girls had brought Monster Energy drinks into the restaurant with them. That's pretty great.
I feel like this is go ahead with that.
Okay, it says
are
the
you
toddler
picturing that girl from the girl from The Wrong Missy where she's like, when she beats up the wife or whatever? Remember, and that there's that one. It's called
watched it last
episodes,
night.
or it's like the skits.
Oh yeah.
And she's like she punches the mom.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah,
that's the girl I'm imagining. I'll put that on our social media so you know what I'm talking about.
But apparently the toddler ran out of the juice in her sippy cup, so the mom filled it with the Monster Energy drink. She then let the toddler play with the sugar container. Well, like one of the shaker style ones, and like the little cylinder thing with like the flappy thing on top, like you just like. You know, sugar container, not like the packaged sugar. And the toddler like basically just, you know, threw it on the table and then started licking the table with the sugar.
I feel like he went out with Janelle from Teen Mom.
I don't know. Meanwhile, all the girls are laughing at the toddler and having a great time. They're talking amongst each other, not even trying to include him in the conversation. And about 5 minutes after them 5 minutes of ignoring him, they started talking about guys from high school. Said, long story short, I ate half a chicken sandwich, excused myself, apologized to the hostess for all the mess, and left $50 and got the hell out. Jeez. Nice guy. Jeez. It's a lot.
Aren't you imagining, like, I'm just trying to, like, picture. You just know these people are, like, just, like, white trash, probably.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picturing.
The Monster Energy drinks really sent me. That's why I read that story.
You know what I'm saying? They're like
wow.
Janelle from Teen Mom and Janelle's 16-year-old friend. Okay,
this is one. There's numbers. It's numbered on this one. Went out on a date with a guy who seemed really cool. He used to race bikes until he landed on his head after attempting a big jump. No way, dude. Okay, during the date, this happened. He told everyone we were on a date. Everyone. He told me he wanted to kill his ex-roommates. This is epic. Asked the waitress to make the date more romantic, so she brought out a giant ice cream sundae meant for 2 people to share. He ate it all by himself and spilled the ice cream all over himself. There's no way this is real. I'm sorry. Bragged about beating the world record for the jump he had landed on his head. Kept asking me if I was a gold digger because he makes tons of money and needs to protect himself. Oh no. Demanded separate checks. And she's like, no big deal. Like, that's fine.
Just checking to make sure you're not a gold digger.
Yeah, right. All 4 of his credit cards were declined. Asked me if I didn't mind paying, but he would, get it the next time.
Like, there's not going to be a next time.
That's what it says in parentheses. It said, there's not going to be a next time. Told everyone that the date went splendidly. This is epic. Gave me stickers to his welding company as a thank you for paying, since his credit cards must have some sort of error.
4 credit cards don't have an error, my dog. Let me just tell you.
Oh, she attached an image of the. Hopefully, this doesn't mess anything up. Oh yeah, that's the sticker she got. So thanks for the date.
Oh,
cool sticker.
When we're saying these, I'm just really curious as to like how old these people are.
And then the top comment was, "I think you accidentally went on a date with a homeless guy." Oh man,
do homeless people have 4 credit cards though?
Oh, I don't know. Sounds like he just got a rough life after that big jump. Okay.
Yeah, I just think he's a little bit
okay. Here's one. Okay, so I had a very disappointing date in high school. It was the dead of winter, like negative 40 degrees Celsius. That's not real.
Like, where do you live? Antarctica?
Oh, maybe it's like -40 degrees Celsius. That makes more sense.
Negative 40 degrees Celsius.
He had gone to a movie and the whole thing was really awkward. We had gone to a movie, sorry. She didn't really seem to want to be there, was very detached. After the movie and the bus trip home, she admitted that the only reason she even agreed to the date with me is because my friend turned her down a few days ago.
Oh, darn.
So that kind of sucks, he said. But I figured whatever. I'll head home and find something else to spend my time on. I'll get over it eventually. Like, he's kind of just like bummed because he's like, right, whatever.
He's just like, okay.
I got off the bus and just wanted to get home as soon as possible. At the bus stop, there is a thigh-high railing around the front of the nearby parking lot. Instead of walking around it, I decided to step onto and then over it. So he just like jumped over a railing. I don't know. The second I stepped onto it, I realized it was coated in ice. It says, I Charlie Browned the F out. What?
Yeah. Like that.
Just slipped through the air, lost everything in my pockets, ripped my pants from hold a zipper, and then came down hard right into the railing with my shin fracturing it. Oh, no. Oh. He said it's still like 40 degrees Celsius out, which I don't know how cold I think that's pretty cold.
40 degrees Celsius?
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
No, you have to think.
Maybe it was negative 40
it has
degrees.
To be negative.
Anyway, because he put the dash again, so I feel like it's got to be.
No, it's definitely negative. Let me see how much it is, though, because I'm pretty sure like 75 is like 25 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
So that's just cold.
But yeah, just cold, basically. And he said, like, he was nervous because he's like, I can't just lay there or whatever, like with whatever. So he, was trying to grab his stuff. He said, trying to stuff my balls back into my pants and stagger home.
With a fractured.
It says, it's not me, it's you. Limped home balls in the wind. This one's pretty good. Girl never showed up. I was stood up. I just moved to the bar and drank and ate buffalo wings.
Honestly, sounds like a better night.
That's the top comment. Sounds like a better date. Okay. Met her in an adult soccer league. Asked her to grab breakfast that weekend, and she accepted. Picked her up, took her to a hole-in-the-wall diner, ordered the garden omelet. Throughout the meal, she talked about all of the shit she was going through. She was into, breathe play, being dominated, being hit, but not too hard. Whips and cuffs. As Kevin Hart would say, she was getting too kinky too fast. Got the check, realized my wallet was in my gym bag from the night before, apologized. She paid for us, and I took her moved back to her place. She invited me in, and they went up. An hour later, after the dirtiest sex of my life, up to that point, we were laying in bed, and she gets a text and panics. And she's like, oh my God, you have to leave. My boyfriend's getting off early from work, and if he finds out, he's going to kill me. Yeah, so that guy's just like, the guy in the bed's just like, great, cool. So he like threw on his clothes, tried to like rush out the door or whatever. And then he said when I got home, he noticed that his bumper had a new crack in it. Like someone came by with like a baseball bat or something like later. So I guess like he came back to, I don't know. Jesus.
Can you imagine though, like going on a date with somebody or like going out with somebody, especially if it's been like a couple times, and like going back to their place, like getting frisky and then being like, oh, you gotta go, because especially as a guy, because as a girl I would be like, oh my gosh, and I mean I would try to get out of there, but also I'd be like to the girl, I'd be like, I promise you I did not know, I'm so sorry. And I feel like as girls, there's obviously some crazy girls out there, but if I would be so like pissed off at my boyfriend, it wouldn't be at the other girl.
Yeah.
But as a guy, like you could literally get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy's coming in like, I'm gonna beat your, ooh, a little bit scary.
This one's from someone in high school. She was like, I was really young, probably about 15 or so, and I was boy crazy. I had a crush on every guy. Can't relate.
Don't know that life.
Oh, and he has a fun name.
What is it? Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know what it is, but I know there's a couple options it could be.
Yeah, so she met this guy or whatever. A couple weeks later, we decided to meet up at the mall, and that was like our first official date. He was really nice. And she said too, he was just like, seemed a little bit like, just like good for his age. Like, didn't seem like a teenager or whatever. I don't know. While sitting at the bench, he turns, like at the mall, he turns to me and stares me right in the eyes and says, wow, when I look at you and I look into your eyes, I feel like I'm looking into your soul. And the girl's like, okay. She was like, I'm 15 and I'm honestly, I want to be in love and whatever. So So I'm just like, okay. And then the guy says, I know this seems soon, but I think you might be my soulmate. I can't wait until the day we get married and have babies and live together. We're going to have such an amazing life together. And she's just like, okay. But she like freaks out basically. And she's just like, this is my first date. And she just like gets out of there.
Yeah.
That's too bad. That's harmless.
Here's my thing is, I don't know how old the guy was, but it probably was one of his first dates. And if she's been talking to him for a couple weeks, he probably thinks that's what she wants to hear. Like, he just doesn't know either. You know what I'm saying? He probably actually wasn't creepy. He probably like saw that in a movie and just was like, oh, this is really gonna. He probably just really liked her and like thought that was what girls wanted to hear. Yeah. Because I feel like I had guys that like love bombed me and said things like way too early whenever I was younger. Yeah. And I was just like, there's no way you mean that. That's like really weird thing to say. But I think they were saying it thinking that I would like to hear it.
Like, because they actually, when you're young like that, you just don't know.
Yeah, I've said all sorts of things, especially when I was a teenager, that I did not mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, this one's fun. I was kind of skimming it. It's pretty good. So this person went on a date with whenever they were in college. So that she, you know, had a habit whenever she would tell her parents, like, I would go out, like, come back later or whatever, and they'll be like, okay, like, be careful, just, like, basically saying, like, especially, like, if you're drinking and stuff, just be careful in the car.
Right, okay.
We were on our route to our first destination, and it was closed, so he asked me where I wanted to go, and I said, Hooters and bowling. I know she's like, it's kind of whatever, but she's like, it sounded fun, you know?
Okay. No, this girl sounds cool.
Yeah. And so basically then they were in the car and like his driving was so reckless, like really bad. They said that they ended up going across town because he wanted to take me to this one place. I don't know. I guess they're not going to Hooters anymore. He's like, you love Hooters.
Listen, let's go to this place where all the girls are topless.
By that point, with them just driving around, she realizes like I'm not into him. So maybe like we can just be friends, whatever. While they're driving, though, his brakes give out, and we end up having an accident. He ran into the back of a truck pretty hard, and I jerked forward, glasses flying off. After the smoke settles, when I'm like, I freak out, and I start laughing because I'm, like, nervous and stuff. And he asks if I'm okay. We start looking for my glasses, and then he was just like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. And I'm like, why? Like, no insurance or something or whatever. And he was just like, no, I have a warrant out for my arrest. He gets out of his car and starts running.
Oh, no.
As he's running into the sunset, he's yelling back at me, I'm really sorry. I can't afford to go to jail again. The person we hit leaves, so I'm the only one there when police show up. I had to call my parents to come pick me up because I had no friends in the area. And, of course, I gave the cops all of his info. I just knew I wasn't going to talk to him again. The police gave me a ride to the gas station across the street, and I was waiting for someone to pick me up. I leaned back, took a picture of the cop card, posted on Facebook, and tagged him in the picture. Somewhere in between the running, he found time to get on Facebook and block me. That's good. She's mad. She's like, and the worst part about it, I didn't eat my Hooters wings. I feel you there. I do love going to Hooters as a female. It honestly is fun. I don't like going with guys. But a couple girls, like me and my mom went one time, and it was like the greatest time of my life. You get the best service because they're just like, oh, two girls, like they'll serve you and be nice to you versus guys or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, because like we're not going to be creepy.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just
That's reading. So funny though. That one's actually really funny. Like,
yeah. Okay, so this one's kind of fun. It's really long, so I'm going to probably take a lot of breaks and go to try to get through it. Basically, this guy's walking down the street. He has, at the time, it's like they've got flip phones and stuff. Like he's got like this flip phone. Okay,
so this is a little while back.
A little old one. Just as he's hanging up on the phone, wham, he gets hit by someone and he drops it. Apologizes, grabs his phone, and, heads back to work. 10 minutes later, I get a call saying, hey, I think we switched phones by accident. Turns out the girl I bumped into had the same phone as me. Anyways, we planned to meet up at a local coffee shop after work and trade it back.
This is a movie right now.
He was saying, like, I walk back up and see that this girl is, like, super cute. It's, like, a cute ginger wearing a suit dress. Cute. They chat for a bit. Turns out she works at a bank, likes what I like, is totally up for dinner this weekend. Amazing, right?
Wow. He's thinking he's in his own serendipity movie.
Like, for real, this is a movie. Okay. Saturday evening rolls around and I swing by her place to pick her up. Out her door walks a girl who looks remarkably
Remarkably.
Thank you. Like said date, who instead of professional office clothes, she's wearing 4-inch platform hoe boots, it says. Fishnet stocking, some sort of corset-like top, and her spiky hair. He's like, normally, you know, it doesn't really matter, but he's just like, he's expecting this, like,
the girl that he already met.
Like, nice, you know,
also,
kind of.
who cares? Guy, you don't have to pretend. Like, if you think, like, some girl that works at a bank who looks like a bank teller, and then you go pick up freaking hot topic.
Yeah, for
like,
real.
You don't have to be interested anymore. That's like that's a little bit catfishy.
Yeah. Okay, but he's just like, you know what? Whatever. Like, we had a nice conversation this afternoon. Like, whatever. So she gets in the car and everything's going great. He's like, they're, you know, laughing at her jokes. She asks what the plan is for the night. He's just like being funny, like, you know, saying like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to McDonald's for our first date. And he was like, hell, if she plays her cards right, I might even supersize it. And she runs the joke, one-ups me. You know, it's just like, it's going really good. We arrive at this nice pub downtown, and I turn off the car, and she turns to him all serious and goes, well, what about McDonald's? Okay. I laugh upon seeing her face and, you know, stop in confusion. And I'm like, okay. We head inside and order dinner. I have a scotch and she orders the biggest boot. This restaurant has glass boots. So she orders a big boot of Bud Light. Okay.
This girl is so cool.
The waiter comes over and takes our order. As he's leaving, my date whispers rather loudly, I can't believe they let his people in such a classy place. We should probably check our food for spit before we eat it. What is her deal?
Apparently, not cool anymore.
Apparently, the waiter is, you know, a minority or whatever. So she's just being like, yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. So she's okay. So she literally makes a racist
and
comment.
She said it so loudly, apparently. So this guy's like panicking, and he's like, oh my god. And she continues her whispered commentary on the supremacy of whites, all the while putting away an obscene amount of beer. Dinner arrives and she makes a point of checking her plate for saliva. It says, waiter and I make eye contact, and I like to think that he understood that I agreed with him that this girl was crazy or whatever. Oh my god. So she has 3 boots of beer apparently during this whole endeavor. Excuses herself to the bathroom while he takes care of the check. The waiter comes up and he apologizes profusely, you know, like just. And the guy is so great. He's like, don't worry about it, man. There's all sorts of people out there in this world, like, you know. So.
Yeah, and you're like, this girl looks the part, at least, too.
Yeah. So they go back to his car. In the car, she pulls out a cigarette. Doesn't even bother putting the window down. Like, lights a cigarette.
Yeah, which is, like, not in your car, for real.
And then she said, we should go shooting out at my dad's farm. What is this girl? Apparently he was just like, he really tries to, you know, get out of the date or whatever, takes her home. And then before they leave, she was like, well, we should totally get that Big Mac sometime. Okay,
I do feel her on the Big Mac, though. Because, you know, when someone starts talking about, they're like, you know what, like, you ever had a Taco Bell, blah, 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 and then they're like, we pull up at a really nice, like, Italian restaurant. I'm like, but wait, what about the chalupa? Like, you got me in the mood for a chalupa now. We can just bounce it. We can just blow this popsicle stand. Yeah. No, that girl, that wasn't cool. I'm just so glad I've not been in any situation that extreme. Like, I've been in uncomfortable situations, but I've never just been like, oh my God, I'm genuinely so embarrassed to be, like, here with this person right now. That's never been the case. I hope it never is.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever really been on a super bad date either. I haven't dated that much, though, but hold on. I'm trying to see if we can end on, like, a funny one.
That one was pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Just whenever he said that, she looked at him. She's like, what about the Big Mac? Like, yeah, so serious. I was like, okay, that's really hilarious.
This one's not really worth reading, but their first date was to go see Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which I think is really funny.
And that's a bad date?
It's weird. I'd be like, yeah, I hope they were in high school or something, though. That's kind of weird. Oh my God. Okay, this one might be funny. I'm just reading a little bit of it. It has to do with Twilight. So
I'm in.
A few years ago, I was going through a breakup, a pretty bad one. The guy was emotionally abusive. That stinks. So I was super excited when this hot guy I met at work asked me out. He picked me up and told me he really wanted to go see the Twilight movie. So even though I'm not really one of those girls that's really into that sort of thing, I was like, nope, let's go. Why not?
Okay, well, I don't like her.
I already hate her. He didn't mention that it was opening night for that movie. So if you're not a true fan, like I remember we would go to opening night and like there would be like old 6-year-old ladies in wolf t-shirts and stuff. Like,
yes.
If you're not, it's that's kind of a lot.
Yeah,
okay.
The theater is like literally sold out. Everybody's like, it's like when you see those. It's the same for guys with the Marvel on opening night where it's like that's what it was too.
Oh my god, but that's so like funny. Twilight's up a level though. It's way worse because it's like younger people and I don't know. So she said it's opening night for that movie.
Okay, we
stood in line for an hour with a ton of teenage squealing girls. So we're standing in line and who turns around and makes eye contact with me? My abusive ex-boyfriend's bitch sister, who I never liked to begin with. So that's great.
Darn.
Right in line. Like they're okay. We finally get in the theater, get to our seats, and who sits right effing next to me? Yep, the bitch sister. Literally sharing an armrest with her. Great.
Oh my gosh.
So I sit through the movie being bored because I'm not into Twilight, like I mentioned. Also mad because I'm right next to,
right, and the sister's just like doing it on purpose, like trying to ruin your night.
And she said she just kept getting really annoyed because every time the werewolves would take their shirts off, the girls would freak out and start screaming. She's just like, what the heck?
No, girl, you gotta, if you're in that deep, you just gotta pretend like you're a fan too. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in situations where it's like, it's not my thing, but like everyone, I'm like, that's so funny.
Apparently though, she said, so after we finally freaking leave, we go back to his place for some drinks. One thing leads to another, and he asked me to spend the night. I agreed, even though I didn't really feel like staying there. But I didn't want to drive after drinking. So let me also note that this guy was horrible in bed. Worst sex ever. He was terrible. And in the morning before he went to work, he said, I want you to be here when I get back. Shoot.
You're like, and we can do that all again. And she's like, I'd really rather not.
And she was just saying, she was like, oh, like we can hang out again, but like I want to go home and shower and stuff. And he was like, no, don't leave, please. I really want you to be here. And she's like, okay, I'll stay, I guess. And his begging gave me the creepiest vibe at that point. She said I waited 10 minutes and then I left or whatever. Said a side note though, now he's in jail awaiting trial for murder in LA, this guy. It was all over the news a few months ago. No way. Wait, I want to see, they have replies. I want to see if there's.
Yeah, what happened? Did he actually murder the person?
What the heck?
I mean, I don't want to go out with anybody that's even on trial for murder, but at the same time, like, what if that was you and you didn't actually murder somebody and then your whole life is ruined?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Innocent until proven guilty.
I don't know, but that's crazy. That was a pretty.
I'm not going to chance it, but I'm just saying.
That's a pretty good one to end on, though.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're going to take a little pee break.
Yeah, and then we're going to come back, and Courtney's going to dive into some Reddit stories on her end,
some Reddit, and we're going to do a different topic. So we will see you next Wednesday. If you like the episode, I thought that was so fun. Jenny, also me just sitting over here and like listening to all those and taking that all in. I don't know if you could appreciate it the same way because you're reading it. Those are really funny.
No, it's really good.
I'm actually excited to listen back to this one because some of those stories are
This
hilarious.
might be, because obviously too, when you try to think of like podcast topics, it's coming easy to us right now just because we're still in it, but I know it's going to get harder as we go. It's like, this could be a fun, like once a month, we just like go to Reddit because this is really fun and it was easy. Yeah, it is. It was awesome. It's hilarious. To hear stories.
Also, it's like you aren't going to go, I mean, you by listeners, you guys aren't going to probably go up or go and seek these out. So if you like hearing these, we'll make sure to be posting whenever we're going to do a Reddit episode. That way you guys can tune in and listen because that is so funny.
It's really fun.
That dating one is really funny. I'm going to do some random ones, but if you want to hear about it, tune in next week. So.
Yeah. All right, guys. All right. Well, we're the girls on 95. 95. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.